at the records of these teams, we do have the Alpha team of Buffalo, as you had mentioned. They're undefeated in the regular season. And Lakeland, unfortunately, the record isn't so great. They went 2-7. They did make it to the playoffs, and there's always that dark horse element. But I do worry for them coming against the one team that didn't lose a single map.
As far as that goes, it's going to be a little skewed here. We've got the number 1 seed and the 8th seed, so this one will be a little skewed one way or the other. But again, Lakeland didn't make it here for nothing. They've put up a lot of great games, a lot of great fights all the way through here. So Buffalo Alpha is definitely the favored pick here. But as we go on, it's going to get closer and closer for each of these matches tonight.
Well, jumping in to look at what those maps are going to be, we saw a few bans come out early on, and the first bans were actually Oregon Cafe and Villa. So I thought that was kind of funny because those are some of the most popular maps. So instead, we're actually going to find ourselves on Chalet for the first map, Clubhouse as the second, and then the decider, if we get there, will be Coastline. So in for some different maps, especially Chalet and Coast. I do believe that those are going to be more of the attacker side maps, which you don't really often see. So I'm kind of interested to see how this will play out. But I do think we're ready. Everyone's in the lobby. So I think we can jump in onto that first match on Clubhouse, it looks like. Oh, I thought Chalet was chosen first, but that's all right. Either way, we'll see both of those maps anyways. So either way, we'll jump in here. What bans do you expect to see here on Clubhouse then?
Clubhouse is really one of those very straightforward maps. The walls are super important. A lot of hard breaches going to be crucial for a university at Buffalo to get into the building and actually get into sight and take it, especially on CCTV and bedroom sites upstairs. Of course, the hatches will also come and be really important hard breaching objectives, or like miniature objectives for the basement objective. So that one's pretty out there. That's an Ash ban, not of what I was going to expect to see. I was going to say something more along the lines of Thatcher, Maverick, Ace, your hard breaching operators, because of the importance of that. And of course, on the defense, Kaid is really common here, but maybe it'll be weird all the way through.
Well, that was Lakeland's ban. They start on defense, and you have to think going against the dominant force of Alpha team of University at Buffalo. I imagine that they're just trying to take away some of that frag potential, that firepower that they have. I mean, that is a very frag-heavy team. Obviously, they went undefeated for reasons because they can win those gunfights, and obviously, I would expect that the ability to play strats is also there. But taking away the Ash, and now coming up from Buffalo themselves, they're going to take away the Jaegers. So a little bit of the medicine returned, as the two top fragging ops, I would argue, on this game are off the board. These are very interesting and different, as you said, very different ops to be banned out.
Yeah, it looks like the entry fraggers on both teams are going to be forced to choose some different operators here. A lot of different decisions to make there. Aruni also less of a common ban, useful for hard breaching as secondary defenses for those hard breaching walls, and also just able to use up some more utility. You got to throw more grenades or drones through those Aruni gates. So this will just be a little extra of a thing to make sure that the defenders have a harder time dealing with any kind of projectiles coming into objective.
Well, for the first bomb site, we're going to see cash taken. And, well, they left the Kaid, however you want to say it, on the board. So he's going to be able to use those electric claws. That's going to allow that wall to be staying closed longer. They do have plenty of hard breach, though, as they're bringing Maverick, Hibana, and Ace, which I think is actually the right play on a map like this when Kaid is still in play. It's going to allow you to for sure get the walls open with the Maverick. And then you never know if they're going to go below. And Hibana is certainly the best op for opening those hatches. So just bringing them just in case. And they all have pretty good guns, so there's nothing wrong with that lineup. Yeah. On the other side, though, they're bringing the Mira, and this isn't normally the bomb site that Mira is most known for.
Yeah, it looks like Buffalo is most likely going to be going for a split push. They have the hard breach to pull it off. It allows them to put on a lot more pressure in different areas. Of course, Zigalo is probably going to be going for the CCTV wall, the easiest one to open with an Ace. It's going to be a little harder for the other hard breaching operators to open it up safely. But with this throwable gadgets, it's pretty easy to get in there. Otherwise, Jacuzzi wall on the other end of the map might be a likely place for Phoenix and or Dugan to be heading over there to open up that wall, depending on whether or not Lakeland actually reinforces there, which they might not be doing since they're using their reinforces for some other things here, among which is this Mira.
Yeah, that's a weird mirror. That's all I can say about it. I'm just gonna be straight up honest about it. Normally, if you're gonna put one there, you actually have it. You want to hold stairs. It's one of the most important places to hold the red stairs there. You want it looking in towards sight. Now they'll actually have an eye line into, even if the mirror's not opened up, they'll be able to see from the door of construction all the way onto stairs. So that actually could hurt you on the defensive side. So it's a very strange placement to me. But you know, maybe there's a reason for it, and I'm gonna be open-minded with it. But offhand, it is certainly strange.
Yeah, that'll make it really important for Lakeland to hold on to the top of red stairs. They have a player on it, playing it pretty hard there, making sure that they don't lose it. But there's going to be extra pressure onto red stairs now that Buffalo already has an opening on the breach here, or at least they've softened up the left half. Maverick is making great work of this wall, wasting absolutely no time. He's already got 3 lines there. He's very clean on that. And with drones going into garage, it's going to be a lot of pressure here really early on against Dolphin Man.
Well, normally you'd have a Jaeger playing in this position, but without the Jaeger on the board, they have to use Womidus to protect him, and I don't really see any being thrown there. I could be just missing it on the view there, but if they have nothing to protect the man on the catwalk above, they could just flash the crap out of him and then just destroy him with some frag grenades, which is pretty common. And they do have the frag grenades in both the Maverick's hand and the Sledge's hand, so that could find the Kate of Dolphin Man in a bit of a dire situation. There it comes out, JJ getting that kill, but VPAC is going to refrag. Yeah, Zigalo getting a frag as well onto VPAC though, so the frags are still going to come out in favor of Buffalo. They have a 1-man advantage.
3 men left with only 1 frag. It's getting a little rough here as the pressure mounts. Buffalo has really shown us a masterclass on finding these different angles of attack into CCTV. Already, Word is taking attacks from 3 different angles through garage, CC wall, and CC window. It looks like B objective is just about a kill zone now. With only a little more pressure, Buffalo is going to be able to get in and actually get that defuse off. Dugan picking up another on Toy Cannon, leaving Word and Sasha Fierce as the final players for their team. They've got a nice power position here at the back of Cash, able to look all the way into CCTV and stop anyone from planting right now. So they're going to need a little extra pressure. 1 player moves in through construction, is going to set that up, and there's a double kill for Word, going down himself, but this swings it to a 2-1 Sasha Fierce in this clutch scenario now.
Yeah, and looking at it, they're going to have a 2-man advantage. So, I mean, 1-man advantage, excuse me, a 2v1. So Sasha's going to go below and just trying to find out what they can do here. But there's not a lot of wiggle room. The plant's already going to be down. It's a 1v2 post-plant situation. And they have the Alda in hand, so that's a really good gun. But unfortunately, Phoenix has the right angle on top of that table, cleans up the round, and Alpha are going to win that first round.
That was a great attempt of Sasha Fierce to try and pick it up there. His teammate did a great job of evening the odds for him, or making it better for him, but he had to switch position, and making such a long rotation as a 3 armor is always going to feel bad. You're loud, you're slow. They're going to know if you're coming with Maestro all the way up in garage. And that was just a really good angle to finally finish off Sasha Fierce.
Yeah, I just can't say much about it. The mirrors were placed weird, and they just lost gunfights. But I can't blame anyone really, especially the person on catwalk, like I mentioned, Dolphin. Like, there's no Womidus. I don't know what they were thinking. They have the Womai on the board, and that's for sure where a push is going to come from. A lot of projectiles are obviously going to be thrown onto that man to try and clear him out, and that's exactly what happened. And it was just an easy kill with the frag grenade. And that just opened things up. There was a refrag, but then that man got refragged. So you're still on a man disadvantage there. I just think they could have played it slightly better. But at the same time, just banning the Jaeger was a really smart play by Buffalo, and that just goes to show why. Yeah, you might have a Kate on the board, it makes it a little bit harder for us to do hard breach, but we have a Maverick. We can bypass that. And then now we're taking away one of the best utilities in the game, the ADSs of the Jaeger.
Yeah, it just makes it so hard to hold rafters. In that situation with a Jaeger band, if you're not able to totally send all of your Wamai discs into the garage to protect that player, you know, you just kind of have to play to die on rafters. As Dolphin Man did, he was able to take some time, but the hard breaching and the pressure on garage was just so great that he wasn't able to take much time at all off of Buffalo's attack. So at that point, it might not even be worth it to hold so closely on garage, knowing that it's just going to be inevitable to lose a player there.
It was interesting to see them bring Mira on that bomb site, which is not super common. You might be able to make it work. I've seen it a couple times. It usually doesn't do all that much good for you. And yet, basement is actually a great site for her. She has a nice line of sight towards the main stairs at the bottom if you put it on the church wall. And you can even see looking towards the drop into Moto. but in this case, they're not bringing it. And Word did get that double kill, which was really pivotal. They actually could have won that round on the back of that double kill, but unfortunately, the refrag was found pretty quickly. And in this case, they don't have the mirror, and he's on the Melusi instead. So I'm curious to see if that's going to be a benefit, a boon for them, or if they're just missing out on some opportunities now.
Yeah, another point that you brought up earlier was that Buffalo had a really nice lineup for Clubhouse with the 3 potential hard breachers. They're taking the same lineup since they don't know where Lakeland could be. They have the opportunity to choose any objective still, since they did not win the first one. But with all of this hard breaching utility available, Phoenix is able to open up a bunch of hatches. Of course, Dugan, playing Hibana, the queen of hatches, is going to be available, probably trying to help out on Kitchen Hatch when the time comes. They do have to take those Kaid charges off, though, so that's one of the next big objectives.
If you notice, he shot around the hatch, and that floor is indestructible. So I'm just kind of curious what the mindset of that was. But, sometimes you just don't know. There's plenty of floors that I'm not sure about, even myself. Sometimes you just kind of take a gamble on it. In that case, not going to really bring anything for them. Could have got some shots maybe onto the Maverick, but it's really hard to get the right angle. In this case, there's nothing to really deny the wall of Church getting opened up, which is an interesting choice. They had the Cade. Instead, just going to allow that wall to get opened up, and now these attackers have a nice line of sight. Sasha's going to be down now by Dugan, and they already got an early man advantage, essentially, here. Going to be pushing into sight, almost getting that kill there. Dugan getting a lot of damage. Zigolo and Phoenix find a kill. Toy Cannon getting a refrag back onto Zigolo, downing the diffuser in the main doorway as well, but they still have that one-man advantage here.
I don't know if they even went for Kitchen Hatch with this push through Church Hatch. They've been able to get a lot. Toy Cannon picking up another kill and actually evening up the odds yet again. There's the kill coming out for Dolphin Man, or the down, taking Phoenix Man out for the count for a while at least. But now he's the last one left. Dugan has been on a tear, and JJ Jet Plane is there to cover for him. But now it is just Dugan planting there in Church while Dolphin Man seeks to find him. He's got a lot of avenues that it could be. There's a lot of lines of sight already opened up, and he's going to hold that angle and wait for a move to be made. Dugan has to do something. I guess he's just going to hold that little sight angle. He's got good cover. He's got a good angle, and then it's going to come out for Dolphin Man, though, finding justice for getting killed last round in Garage. He has all the players down. He's got Diffuser with plenty of time.
Well, that's a win for sure right there for Lakeland. They're going to bring it back to an even round count. That's going to be Basement off the board now. They're going to have to go back up top somewhere. But I was just curious to see what that Maverick was doing. They're holding a really weird angle. It wasn't the best angle. And then them losing that position in the back of the hallway next to Church Wall. They could have even rotated over into Moto or onto the main stairs there. I think it would have been a better position in that case. It didn't happen. So they just gave away a lot of power position control. And as you said, plenty of lines of sight. So Dugan was just kind of trapped there. Didn't really know which angle they were going to push him from. So he just had to sit there and hope that he could win the gunfight. Just isn't able to do so. Really good job coming from Lakeland, though, getting that round cleaned up for themselves. But we're going to be pushing back up into CC and Cash, as that is the site that they want to go to. They're not going to attempt the gym just quite yet.
Yeah, I guess we'll wait for the special treat of seeing that one potentially for the next rotation, since it's not going to be on for this first 3 rounds. But for now, going back to CCTV with some different operators. We're not going to be seeing that Mira that you noted earlier. Instead, Word will be playing the Melusi again. Always a great operator. Takes so much utility. She still just requires so much to deal with those bulletproof gadgets. Great gun in her hands. And obviously being a 3-speed operator is always just going to pay dividends for the team using the operator.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the mute being brought is actually a really good idea, too. They were droned a lot. There's plenty of drones coming through the garage. And then we saw the last 2 men over in the cash room were being droned from construction. So hopefully those mute jammers can deny some of that information, slow down the push from these attackers, maybe buy enough time that even if they get the wall open, maybe they'll be in a better position time-wise. Because last time there's plenty of control taken very early by Buffalo Alpha. And you just got to buy a little bit more time than that. Without the Jaeger, though, I am still concerned for them. We're going to see Ace actually using some charges on the back walls of Garage, but because of that mute jammer, or 2 of them, in fact, they're going to be getting no destruction just quite yet.
Yeah, now it's going to be pretty important for Zigolo to find an angle to take those off of the wall. He can find them on his drone on the other side, and maybe has knocked this one out. He'll know when they start going off. There we go. That one's opened up for him. I like that both teams have done a really good job of recognizing what strategies the other team is playing. This is a bit of a mix-up by sending the Ace charges on the Garage wall as opposed to Hibana like before. A double kill coming out for Quarterfinals, though. This is already opening up even better for Buffalo than last round. They've been able to mix it up a little bit, but those mute jammers were a great move. They did take a bit of time. We got to a minute before anything was really dealt with in Garage. But with another kill coming out for Phoenix, nading up in Rafters, I do believe, yet again. This is looking pretty one-sided already. Dugan going down, not checking his angles diligently enough. And VPOC has still got a pretty good angle to stop anyone from getting up into Rafters. So despite 3 kills being out, they still have control over Garage.
Yeah, Ziggler's getting killed on the word, though, and now VPAC by himself. He already got the double kill. He's going to need the ace here, as they're already going to be getting that plant down. By the time he's even going to be rotated, it certainly will be planted. So now it's a 1v3 close plant situation, and it's not the place you want to be. Now, the MP5K is a great weapon, but he didn't even put the 1.5 on it either. So he's really only going to be able to win these short gun fights. He's going to win that one. Phoenix, though, and that's going to put them in a 1v2. It's much more doable now. But if these attackers just play passive, they can just burn enough time, and Ziggler's just going to get the kill anyways, so it doesn't matter. That's another round going in University at Buffalo's favor, and that's 2-1 now. Both of those wins coming on the CC cache site. Doesn't seem to be the best site for Lakeland.
You talked about the fragging power of University of Buffalo Alpha before, and that's one of those rounds where we really get to see it shine. They're really good at using their utility, but when it comes down to it, they can just tap heads really well, and they're going to make sure to show that any chance they get.
Yeah, just popping off, really. I mean, we saw Choedipus, he was able to get the double kill to start the round, and so you're already in a 2-man advantage. You're able to ride it out. Now, there was, again, this happened 2 times now, where they're not watching certain angles, and there's a double kill for someone's trouble on the other side. So Lakeland, first, it was that first round word, getting the double kill on the players moving in through Rafters, trying to get to the default bomb plant site. And then this time we saw VPAC down below, bottom of Garage. No one's watching the Garage doorway into the building further, and that's really confusing because that's a very common spot for a defender to be playing. And so they're both looking up in Rafters, where the grenade had already killed the player up there anyways. So I'm not quite sure what the mentality was there, but they lose 2 players for it. So while University of Buffalo, or University at Buffalo Alpha, has looked really dominant, there are still some chinks in the armor like that we can point out, and maybe this team can capitalize a little bit more on it. They have gotten double kills, but each of those rounds they still lost. So despite having those flaws, Buffalo is still being dominant.
Here it looks like we're actually getting to see Jim and Bedroom come out. I misspoke earlier about the rotation, but we get to see it now on round 4. This is a pretty standard setup overall, opening up hatches, getting those castle barricades on all 3 of the south-facing windows, adding a little more protection, or at least requiring some utility get spent on those windows just to be able to shoot on to sight. Those are really easy angles to open up, so it just adds a little more difficulty there and makes it a little easier for more bulletproof gadgets to stay up. But it looks like University at Buffalo is pushing from the east end, opening up through cache and CCTV. They're good at this hard breaching, and they're going to get quite a bit off of it, already taking all the way through CCTV and red stairs.
If someone just drones through the drone hole by the red stairs area, there's soft walls on the backside near the top of the main stairs, and that Maverick can just get some shots through the wall and do a lot of damage, and that's exactly what I think we saw. In fact, did take a lot of damage, and a kill from Ziggler actually comes from that direction. So as I speak of it, it happens again. It's kind of funny how it works out. But in this case, that is going to give them that man advantage. It's only a minute into the round. They're trying to do that extended hold. Now, this is what I was going to point out before they actually got there. Was usually you have a shield at the top of red and a defender playing there to support the person in cache room. This case, they didn't have it, and that's what happens when you don't have that second defender holding that key position. It's given up, and the attackers are able to capitalize on it perfectly.
Yeah, it looks like that did not serve them very well. This east push has already gotten a lot for Buffalo. They've got a kill and a lot of real estate under their feet. Now these windows are getting opened up. Sledge is able to get all of those castle barricades for relatively free since they're outside. Unfortunately for Lakeland, it's not going to take much time off of Buffalo's hands. And I think they're still leaving a couple of them open just for cover in order to hide out there outside and keep that line of sight without much risk. Unfortunately, Dolphin Man is onto Ziggler, and he's going to shut him down before he gets any more kills. You knew that he's watching from that window. Sasha Fierce, on the other hand, is looking a little worse as far as positioning goes. The grenade going off right by him. There's a hatch open on him. Meanwhile, VPAC will actually pick up a kill as well. Phoenix opening himself up to a line of sight prematurely.
Yeah, 3v3 now. You mentioned Sasha took a lot of damage from the nades, but still alive, still persisting. So these attackers will have to clear them out further. But they have at least gotten a lot of site control. Now, I'm curious as to why, with the Maverick on the board and that ace earlier, they're both dead now. But why didn't they try and get the Jacuzzi wall opened up? They could have even more lines of sight, put more pressure on these defenders. But they can't do it now. As I said, those two are dead. So 30 seconds remaining, and they're going to have to get this execute down in short time because they still haven't gotten fully into sight. So those players persisting in the bathroom are going to be naded out, see if they can find anything for that, but nothing will be found. But Toy Cannon finds a kill onto Dugan. That's going to put them in a 2v3 now. This is not looking great. Plant will start going down by JJ, but I don't know if he has the coverage. That's going to be Chotapus trying to stop it, but VPAC will get that kill. Chotapus gets one for trouble, but there's not enough time now, but it doesn't matter anyways. VPAC will clean it up, and that's another round for Lakeland. 2-2 now. They're keeping it close.
There's a real pop-up for VPAC. Just really bringing it in for the team. Getting those early kills was very important, slowing down the plant and making it so that JJ had to put himself out there and sort of risky plant there between the little cash room and the bedroom with some line of sights that were still on him. An important additional thing was Dolphin Man, or no, I think it was Sasha on the castle, barely hanging on with a thread of health, able to hold on and keep putting on more pressure with that UMP.
I think they even got killed too. So had that nade just connected a little bit better, they would have been off the board. But that's why it's important to finish off kills. And if you don't, they still have a gun in their hand. They can still get kills, even if they have 1 HP. So that's what the story of that round was. I was actually a little worried about the defense, on that round. They didn't have any shields, which I thought was strange, but they managed to win. But I do think there was a huge blunder, as I had mentioned. You need to get that Jacuzzi wall open as an attacker, and they just didn't do it. They thought they could just get control of opposite construction and they'd be fine. Didn't happen, and they didn't win. So that's my constructive criticism of Buffalo for that round. But in this case, they will be having that bottom floor open up again, and they were pretty successful here last time, Lakeland. So it came down to 1v1, which they did end up winning. Hopefully they can have a little bit more wiggle room here. That wall was opened up really easily as well. So bringing the mute, hopefully that'll also deny church wall getting opened up as quickly as last time.
Buffalo seems to choose their utility sinks sparingly, not opening up everything that could possibly lead to sight. I think that was a bit of a downfall last round on Jim, not having that Jacuzzi wall opened up. Last time on basement, it nearly served them well, not putting too much into all the hatches, just choosing the ones that they wanted to attack from. But both times that they did that, they have lost for it. So we'll see if they change their strategy at all, start opening up additional hatches, make sure that they got every line of sight covered, because when Lakeland is back into a corner, they play well.
Yeah, but I got to point out, they were droning, but they droned late. And we saw the sledge was shooting through the wall. It just was left of where that player word was in garage. That was an easy free kill. Had they just droned while he was trying to wall bang, that was an easy kill on a word. But he escapes, and now he's back into the basement. A missed opportunity there to get an early man advantage. And now Buffalo, they're going to have to just continue on with the round with the even man count, and time is just going to be ticking away even further.
They are taking a lot more time now. It's 1 minute left. They've opened up some hatches, but they're spending a lot more time on drone. It's a lot quieter. You're hearing a lot fewer shots ring out, and they're taking time to make sure they've done their due diligence and they actually know where every operator is. That way they don't get their win taken away from underneath their feet by another clutch like last time.
Well, Sasha and Word taking a bunch of damage at the same time. Not sure what exactly the two different angles would have been, but that's going to be a kill from JJ onto Sasha, but VPAC instant refrag onto JJ. That's going to keep the man count even. And the trade is one that they'll take on Lakeland, because that's the player who doesn't have a kill yet, and they've already done their job. They put down the meat jammers. They're already going to be annoying these attackers who were able to open up that wall last time. Not able to do so here, and Phoenix is going to be down and taken out by Dolphin Man. Word finding a kill onto Chotapus, and now Dugan and Ziggler are left on their lonesomes in a 2v4 situation.
These two are still close to each other, able to coordinate pretty well. That miss almost cost it for Ziggler, but taking out Toy Cannon, who has been pretty effective in taking very impactful kills so far, despite going a little bit negative there on that 3-4. Ziggler's still in a rough spot, though. That's not going to give him much more ground. There could be opponents at every one of these angles, and there really are.
Sigil getting a nice headshot on the Dolphin man, bringing it back to an even man count. So they're starting to make this 2v4 work as they are still having a little bit of time. Dugan getting a nice kill on a VPAC as well, and it's a 2v1. Everything is turning on its head, and now Word has to clutch out here in a 1v2. He's going to be peeking from blue. They don't know his position. A nice kill onto the Zigolo of Ace, and now it's a 1v1. That was the diffuser down at 20 seconds left. He could still win this round out just by time, as he knows if he survives here, that diffuser still hasn't been planted yet, and as more time wastes, Dugan's going to have even less wiggle room to work with. He's going to start getting that plant down. I don't know if Word is getting the word about this happening, but so far he hasn't pushed. That plant will go down, and he's getting a nice shot on the Word into the rotate of blue, and that's going to win the round for Buffalo. No, 1v1 yet again, but this time they actually come out on top.
Yeah, it was a very similar situation playing out pretty differently there in that 1v1. Dugan learning from before, watching that hole a little closer. That's going to hurt a bit for Lakeland. They were feeling good about that basement. They won it before, and it looks to be going the same way until losing a 2v4, which is really going to hurt the morale to see that happen. Just seeing your men go down one by one until it's that final 1v1 that you actually lose out.
It's interesting how that basement site has played out in the 2 times they've gone there. The first time they won, but it really looked like a round they should have lost, right? On the defense, they had let them get open into church. They had all the wrong angles, the attack at all the angles they wanted. But the Maverick, again, just playing in a weird position, in my opinion. I think it did kind of cost them the round, just getting taken out when he could have been playing more passively. And so the defenders are able to make that 1v1 work. In this case, they have a 4v2, and yet they don't win that. And that just goes to show, again, that frag potential that Buffalo has. Zigolo and Dugan have both been fragging out when they need to, especially Zigolo on the Ace. He has the best gun in the game, so I mean, you gotta mention that the AK is really good, but still, not the player that you would oftentimes see frag out because he's on that support role, just trying to get things opened up. He's not the entry, he's not the person pushing aggressively, and yet he's still able to snag those kills and help his team win rounds.
Yeah, with this kind of lineup, everyone's really doing a pretty important support utility role. Those Sledge and Zofia, Explosives, and the Hammer are going to be doing a lot of important work in order to make sure that the fraggers can actually get in there. So it seems like Buffalo is sort of running a strategy along the lines of everyone being support and everyone being fraggers. And it really has just come down to that fragging, especially on these prior basement rounds. And we'll see how those frags really impact this round as well.
Well, it's a 1-1 on this basement, so it could go either team's way. I think that opening kill is going to be essential here to see who can just get themselves a nice advantage early on. Dugan can do that upside-down repel. It's a really safe position if you're trying to get the hatch opened up, but the kit is in place, so it's going to stop them from getting it opened up, at least for now. Now, they could try the trick where you open the floor with the Sledge and then use one of his grenades to try and bounce it and get the Cade off of that ceiling hatch. We'll see if they go for that or not, or maybe just...
It looks like they're doing exactly that right now. Let's see if they got it.
I'm not sure, and it looks like they did.
Oh, yeah, looks like, yeah, Habana's off of her gun, and so that's going to be going off. That impact grenade not quite hitting its mark. And Dugan is feeling comfortable enough to send 4 pellets to try and open that up right now. Looks like nothing's going to stop it. So they have Kitchen Hatch for the first time this round, and that's going to mix it up even more for Lakeland to have to deal with a new University at Buffalo attack.
Yeah, it was really good job from them getting that hatch open up. And as we were talking about it, Zigolo got a kill, and JJ is going to find another one on Dolphin now. So now they have a 2-man advantage. This is looking really dominant for Buffalo so far. They can find themselves in a 4-2 round count if they can continue to have this success that we're seeing so far. But that's just the hatch opened up. They are starting to push into dirt, it looks like, as well. It's that dual push. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this. You still have to drop that hatch, so we really need the person in dirt to get a lot of control here if they want to make this successful. But JJ's going to be down and killed by feedback, and Word getting a nice angle and a shot onto Chodibus on the hatch there. That's going to bring it back to an even man count, and this is why it's really hard to get this execute down coming in from the hatch and from dirt.
Word's spot here behind those crates has been really pivotal to the team landing that kill and adding a lot of pressure. Phoenix is going to take him out, though. He is not going to deal with that anymore, using his frags to easily clean that up. And Zigolo has a spot cleared out in order to plant yet again. He's still going to be taking fire, but there's another one for Phoenix, really showing his merit for this round. Sasha Fierce is out of position, outmanned. He's going to be outgunned. This is going to be a rough situation to try and deal with here. He's not going to know where the plant is, and he probably has just been seen on cam.
Yeah, and Dugan's just sitting up top, and that's what you want to do. You always want someone up top. I've seen a team all drop, and then they just get flanked from above. This is why you leave someone above. They can watch the plant and deny that flank from above. So really good job I like seeing the strats come out from the attack, and Buffalo wins that round. Unfortunately for Sasha, just weren't in a good position, and it's a 1v3 post plant, and they're still having that donut this game. I'm not trying to be mean by pointing it out. It is what it is. You know, they're just having a rough game. Hopefully on attack, now that they're switching sides, they can have a little more success because their team really needs them right now.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of players who end up in pretty supportive roles on the defense and just don't get those opportunities, or by the time they're able to get a gunfight, it's pretty unfavorable. There are more lines of sight on them. And then when they switch around to attack, it's a very different situation just because they have a little more control over the gunfights that they're actually taking, because the attackers really set the speed, especially on a map such as Clubhouse.
Okay, I'm just going to point out this defensive lineup is strange.
I was about to say.
It's just so strange.
There's a lot going on here.
You have 2 shields, which is fine, but you don't really see Ella brought too often on this map. She just doesn't have all that much utility unless you're playing upstairs in gym and she's extended out over into the
That's kind of a lot of shields for basement anyways.
Yeah, but the other thing to point out is there's nothing to deny breaching. There's no Cade, there's no Mute, there's no Bandit, there's nothing. So the attackers will get everything open up that they could possibly want to open up. And then you have Tachanka, which you could have only argued is useful for denying like the plant because of the fire grenades he has now, and then making rotates. But they have plenty of impacts to make the rotates. This is just a weird lineup. There's nothing else you could say about it. It looks a bit not great. I'm gonna say
every time I look at one of these operators and think about what role they're going to be fulfilling, I think, well, there's another operator that could do that better. They seem to be pushing pretty extended. They're mostly upstairs on the second floor by gym and bedroom, but they don't have the castle barricades. They don't have the mute jammers in order to slow down vertical clear. So they're not playing like that SSG style where they're trying to deny any vertical roam or any vertical roam clear. They're really just playing at face value, it looks like, unless there's something that is just going to totally surprise me. And this is rough. Ella getting spotted totally out of position. This will be an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what these defenders are thinking. That looked like a pellet just got bounced off of the rim of the windowsill there, but you know, whatever, it works. They're gonna get inside.
The sauce tells us that's gonna get fixed. The windowsills are gonna be better next patch, well, so that's pretty exciting. Oh my god,
Phoenix and Chodipus getting kills, and so I'm just gonna call this just what everyone calls it, the monkey play, where people are just outside of sight, just roaming around everywhere and getting kills. And this is exactly what's happening. Dugan getting a kill, not on a word. So these attackers just don't know how to handle this aggressive hold coming up from these defenders. They're playing all over the map in random position, it seems, and it's actually working out for them. They're getting the kills. JJ watching that window. That's why you want someone to be very wary of it. And he gets that kill onto Sasha. And now Dolphin is all by themselves in a 1v5. This round is virtually over already, and they're not even going to get one. Ziggler finished it up. That's going to give them a flawless round. I feel like they're just memeing at this point, and they feel very confident.
I don't know if that was just memes or a totally off-meta play in order to take surprise. Either way, it was successful at blindsiding Lakeland. They just did not know what was coming at them. Every time that they turned their head, thinking, well, I guess if we're dealing with this problem, I'll head somewhere else, and then bam, spawn peek out the window. Nothing safe when you just have no idea what game your opponents are playing.
Well, they're going to be going to the gym bedroom, which I do think is a pretty good side. I think it's fallen more into favor. CC Cash seems to almost be figured out. Most teams know how to push it properly. There's a lot of lines of sight if you can get everything opened up. That'll put you in a favorable position on attack. This defense, though, it's a little bit harder. It used to not be in meta, so I don't think as many teams know how to push it. And if you do what I said, you put the shield at the top of red, you do the extended hold, and you just buy a lot of time, that usually wins the round for the defense if they do win the round. It's just on the back of that time killing over in the extended roam. Now, the other thing I want to point out is they are going to bring the denial here. So you can't really extend roam above because it's all the way up top. There's nothing above you anymore. So they need the denial on the wall of Jacuzzi. And so they have it in play, and that's going to allow them to play the extended hold out over into the cache area without worrying too much about the other side being pushed.
Yeah, I really feel in just about any situation, when you have the Kaid on a map where there's, or any objective where there's important hard breaching to be done, not taking the Kaid is usually just going to be a mistake. He's hard to deal with. He adds so much utility. He's going to take a lot of time away from the attackers. So it's nice to see that addition. Now, with the last round play, it's understandable. I see that they were doing something weird, and that's why they chose not to run the Kaid. That's all I can say about that. But JJ, the jet plane also switching over to Malusi. Again, like I said, operator's always going to add some value. And that window is just for the rest of this game going to be sort of a warning spot. No one's going to walk right in front of that without checking.
Well, they brought the Frost last time, and I'm hoping to see the Pog Mats in action here, as they're called now. It was deemed, I believe, over in EU when that happened. They're called Pog Mats, but they didn't catch anyone. In this case, there's a lot of windows to jump through, and they could easily catch someone here if they're not wise to it. Word wasn't even looking down. I don't know if they've droned that yet, but if a Frostmat was there, I feel like it could have got him. They're going to notice that this wall is fully reinforced, though, and so they can't wall bang them like we saw the other team do when they were trying to do the same hold. Dolphin does have a nice angle, though, and they're trying to cut off the rotate, so the person in cash is going to be left on their lonesome. And so if they can just pinch through them, they could get an easy kill to open up the round, but they just need to get the hard bridge going. They need to start getting things opened up so they can start pushing and getting more map control.
Yeah, Lakeland's having a lot more success. They do have more area under their control. Looks like Phoenix is going to be taken out by Dolphin Man, not able to survive any longer. Dolphin Man opened up some extra lines of sight, which were really important in just flushing out that Ella. But now it's going to be back to droning time, and another player is taken off the board. Zigalo continuing to tear it up, going 10 and 4 at this point, hitting those double digits. And it looks like Buffalo is still just holding the west side of the map very strongly. It's hard to get in there at all for Lakeland, and they don't have much of a split push.
That's a really nice shield. I don't know if you noticed that, but the position from the roof just cannot actually hit the person in hall there with that shield. But you can still use the slits in the shield to watch if someone drops from the hatch in office. So I really like that position of the shield. No one even needs to play in office. You can already see what you need to see. They're just going to be doing a lockdown hold from there. Now we're going to see Zigalo is using that shield. He probably sees Toy Cannon standing here on the other side. He's going to peek, try and get a kill here. C4 comes out. It's going to get 2 kills. Dolphin Man and Toy Cannon off the board. Zigalo playing it perfectly. And now Sasha and Word are the only 2 left in the 2v4 here with less than 40 seconds remaining. Word's going to be down. And now Sasha hasn't done anything all game, unfortunately, except for support. And they need to find some frags here.
He's not set up very well here. He's got this one-time sight. He's got a good gun, but he's a 3 armor. He's not going to be able to move very fast. His head is, staying in one place for a little longer than any other operator. And he's stuck outside against 4 other members of the team. A couple windows to watch, and it's going to come out for JJ. That's not a great way to lose the round there.
Puts him down like old Yeller.
Oh, no.
Put him out of his misery. It's done. And now one more round, and this map will be done as Alpha are now up 6-2. They're looking confident. They're looking like what we expected, the dominant force, the undefeated team coming into the playoffs here. And they're looking to keep that going, as this will be the first map of the best of 3. And I'm curious to look right now to see whose map choice it was. But looking at the operators, they're bringing a blitz now with the Ying. So a lot of flash potential here.
Oh, man. This was indeed Buffalo's first map decision. The second one will be Lakeland's decision on Chalet. So maybe they'll be able to put up more of defenses and more of an attack. Of course, they're having a little bit of a harder time now that they've had to switch sides. They were looking pretty strong for the beginning, though, taking rounds 2 and 4, both looking pretty good as far as wins go. Here's a first floor this time, and some interesting renovations taking place right off the bat. Zigalo's playing an Oryx now. This one's feeling definitely like a troll decision.
This is a meme. This is for sure a meme. No one goes to this bomb site. Everyone knows it's awful. It's a horrible bomb site. You can't get the proper verticality to watch the doors of stock or B bomb site, whatever you want to call it in this case. And so they're going to have to be playing very aggressively to try and hold down these bomb sites. And what it really comes down to is this is that confidence. We have the gun skills. We will win. We won that 2v4 earlier. That was all gun skill. We can do it again. This time we're putting yourself in a deficit by choosing one of the worst bomb sites in the whole game, arguably. And so that's going to just show the confidence. That's all I can really say about it. Yeah, it might be kind of like a joke pick, if you will, but they're still going to be trying to win it for sure. They haven't looked like they've been throwing rounds at all. They're just going to rely on that gun skill, and I think they're just kind of flaunting it at this point.
Yeah, at this point, it's more of a flex rather than a throw. And they even do have some options here. They saw Lakeland show those flashbang operators at the beginning, and JJ is playing a ward in this, potentially quite actually relevant in this matchup and on this objective, since it's going to be pretty gun oriented here. It's one of these objectives where just about everywhere has line of sight on objectives, so you just got to get in there and you got to get the kills.
Yeah, well, I think it's because they chose the Ying, so it's a direct counter pick to that, and it's really smart, as you said. It's going to have a lot of usefulness here. Now, the Blitz isn't in play, but you can still deny the flashbangs that might have been on the Hibana. No, she didn't bring them this time. That's going to be a nice kill from JJ on the Dolphin, man. That's going to be the Maverick off the board right away. But fortunately for the attackers, you don't really have a lot of hard breach you have to worry about on this bomb site in particular. But that is still a man down and not even halfway through the round, so they're already starting off on the wrong foot.
Yeah, and man count is going to be one of the most important things for this round. So this is going to be even bigger deficit than usual. Not losing the utility so much, but losing the gun, especially one as effective as the M4. Word is going to even that out again. Phoenix taken out with a headshot, and that's the Ella off the board. There's still quite a bit of presence upstairs for Lakeland. Not a lot of roaming aggression from Buffalo.
Yep, Word and that are taking full site control, or garage control, excuse me, and they pretty much have site control of B, but that's going to be a nice shot from Shutupus to win on to Word. Word did see him. I don't know if it was something from our perspective that allowed us to see it better. Maybe it's the outline made it more obvious, but he was staring at that player for a little bit.
Yeah.
And just unfortunate, wasn't able to capitalize it. Sigalo on to Sasha as well, so Sasha looking like they're not even going to get kill on this map, as it is a 2v4 now for VPAC and Toy Cannon, and they only have 45 seconds to play with here. It's looking like a done deal. Hopefully, as you mentioned, Chile, their map pick, so I'm hoping they show us a little bit more, that they're more prepared for it. We're going to see Zigalo trying to get that kill and just potatoing everywhere, but does manage to pull out the shotgun pistol. Toy Cannon not able to win out in that one, and VPAC, who has been very good in this matchup so far, definitely the top fragger on his team. They're going to need to find 4 here, and they already got that kill on the Phoenix, so it would be an ace round, but I don't think they can do it, as these players are all scattered. There's only 15 seconds remaining. That's the first, but time is ticking down.
Great peek to find that head and actually execute on it on that second peek, but he still got 2 more right here, choosing different angles, and he didn't quite catch that both of those bullet chases were coming from different people. VPAC's out. That's Clubhouse down for the count and in favor of Buffalo.
Yeah, that one's pretty much over as soon as you lost those 2 early picks. It's hard to come back from a 3v5. We saw 2v4 at one point, which is really impressive, but you don't expect them to win those, you know what I mean? So that's just not something that's going to be very, very common, and in this case, it doesn't happen. So that was a really good job. We saw Buffalo, again, flexing. They know that that was just a meme site. That's not a real bomb site people actually go to. So in this case, they're just having fun at the end of it, because they already knew that that map was theirs and they chose it, so it should be theirs. So it kind of plays out as you would expect. But now I'm worried, because that's really dominant. We're going to be seeing Chalet here in just a moment as we get this set up and ready. I don't know. Do we have a break between the maps? I have to ask. We probably just do a 2-minute break quick, just to make sure the players have time. 4 minutes? All right, 4-minute break then, and then we'll be right back with the next map and the next bit of action. Stay tuned.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Short break just to give everyone a little bit of time as we get the lobby set up. But quickly, let's just take a look at those brackets here as the playoffs are happening. This is the first one, but plenty of other games to be had, and we'll see exactly who's going to make it to those finals and who can become that champion of the first season of the Siege League here at NECC. But what are your thoughts so far from what you're seeing here, Treazury?
Well, we're going to see it right off the bat with our 8th seed and first seed, of course. Buffalo and Lakeland are University at Buffalo's primary team, to be exact, against Lakeland. University at Buffalo is our first seed. They're favored to win out for the entire season. So you can imagine that they're a pretty good team. Lakeland, we saw them hold out pretty well through map 1, but the second half did not treat them nearly so well. Buffalo really taking their spot as the number 1 seed. They're expected to win out. They've got that crown atop their heads in their mind already. They see it all panned out on the horizon. So I don't think they're really sweating it too hard with any individual game. Lakeland, though, was definitely a force to be reckoned with. They know what they're doing, and they're going to be going on their map this next one. There's a lot to look forward to, I think.
I agree, and hopefully this will be a little bit better for showing it. Of course, we mentioned that was not their map pick; it was Buffalo's map pick. So give them credit for doing well on their map. Hopefully, for Lakeland's sake, they can bring out a little bit better stress, a little bit better coordination. Hopefully, Sasha can start kicking into gear. We know that they can frag, obviously. It's just an off game, so hopefully they can just get into gear, because obviously that hurts them mentally. So hopefully it's good teammates as well who can bring them back up. But it will be Chalet for the next map, and that's an interesting map. What have you made of it so far? It's only been in the competitive pool now for a few months. It just was recently added.
Yeah, it's still some pretty uncharted territory, especially is going to be contrasting with Clubhouse, which, like you were mentioning last map, where the CCTV objective is sometimes even avoided by players just because the meta is so figured out. Heading to Chalet, it's not going to have anything close to that amount. It's a map that's been in the map pool for a very, very long time, but with this update, a lot of things have changed. All those specific strategies are different for taking individual objectives, especially the basement objective, which used to be held as absolutely the best objective on this map, is more complicated now, with the wine room being harder to hold, more open. There's a lot more frags that come through there, and it's more viable as an actual entry to site for the attackers. More gunplay and exchanges around the blue corridor in the basement also allow a lot more opportunities for the attackers. So Lakeland, as our first half attackers, will have a lot more opportunities to play with on that site, along with the second floor, which has whole new breaching opportunities with the mezzanine area, and again, much more possibility for that attack.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you're aware, but so far in Pro League, from what I've witnessed, and I believe statistically, it's been an attacker-sided map, which is interesting. I don't know if it was in the previous workout of the map. I'm trying to remember the layout. I think it was still a little bit, but I feel like it's even more dominant on attack. You have to become a lot more creative. We've seen that extended roam like we just saw in Clubhouse. So I expect them to be playing that bar site, bar in games, and then holding library above. That's very common. A lot of shields are going to be brought on this map, probably frost. There's a lot of windows to jump through, so I expect to see a lot of different things like that coming through. But we are going to be starting the game now. So what bans do you expect to come through here, Treasure?
Here, again, those hard breaching bans are going to be pretty important on several of the sites, but fragging operators, like you said, are pretty strong. Thatcher is an evergreen ban, always just going to be really strong with the amount of utility he brings, but I wouldn't be too surprised to see someone like Ying getting banned out. She can really give you a lot of mileage on these big open areas and close corners that are going to be held by a lot of defenders.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if your predictions will be right, but the second one's going to be that Maverick. So we saw Maverick playing a huge part on the last map. This time he will not be on the board. I think Alpha used them wisely, but they also realized that Lakeland was able to use them pretty well as well. So I think both teams know that that's going to make this a little bit more favored for those defenders compared to what we normally see. And already being an attacker-sided map, you need all the advantages you can get on that defense side.
Oh, definitely. There's that Aruni ban coming out again from Lakeland. I don't know what they know specifically, but Rooney must have been a problem with them quite a bit. Ziggler's pretty sad to see that one going away for him. For another defender ban, it's going to come out as a Valkyrie ban. That's an interesting one. She's always going to be good on just about any objective. She is really good for that vertical play. Getting that intel in any situation is worth the world. So taking Valkyrie away from the defense may well be pretty advantageous for Buffalo.
It is interesting. I just want to point it out. It was Lakeland banning Rooney both maps. So
yeah,
that really could be a target ban for all we know. Now, she is useful in a lot of ways anyways, but we saw, I think, Ziggler say it 2 times now. Something might really be an app that they like to play. And Lakeland trying to take it out. We saw him take out the Ashe last time too. So I'm wondering if some of these bans are target bans. Now we're going to see a 6-pick from the Goyle, and shields are really important, as I mentioned before. But with the mirror on the board and smoke, you can afford to switch away from the Goyle. And in this case, they're going to bring those Pog mats. So I'm really hoping. Last time we didn't really see one hit anyone yet. I'm really hoping to see a Frost mat catch someone. It's really exciting when that happens.
He is really fishing for those Frost mats to go off, taking as many chances as he can get. It's still a little bit of that flex being, yeah, you know, we're number 1. And we can afford to lose a little bit of utility to have those Frost mats around to try and get some free cheeky kills.
Interesting to see they placing the shield at the top of stairs there, and that makes sense. That's what we see in Pro League. Now, the other shield you normally see is going to be outside in the hallway of the library over here. We're seeing it right next to that, like, what would you call that book? Case shelf right there with the books on it. I don't know what to call it. There'd normally be a shield right here looking towards that double window above. So not having something there, I'm curious to see how are they going to hold it. There might be a mirror being placed over in the small box in the library area, which would help have lines of sight. So that's what I would potentially expect to see here. But instead, they're going to have a mirror looking towards the windows of the library so that Frost can use it with the shield. Oh, yeah, Frost has a shield too. What am I saying? They had a shield there. I forgot she also brought a shield, so how silly of me. But
yeah, he's
that's
still
exactly
going with
what I
a
was
different
expecting.
placement, though, than what you're expecting quite, right? Since you're saying by the bookcase?
I mean, it does the same job. It gives you the protection, and now he has lines of sight into the main hallway anyways, so you're just getting that crossfire with the other shield. So it still plays a really pivotal role there. It just gives you more protection. Otherwise, you can really be found out easily and taken care of if you don't have that shield.
I noticed with Thatcher off of the board, Lakeland has chosen to put word on the Callie. She has the ability to open up some wall denial. Not that it's actually going to come into effect on this round, since there is no wall denial on the defense side. But she's going to instead serve as a way of holding down angles. She has that great sniper with a huge scope, able to make sure that no one's going to be able to go through this corridor without her having a say in it.
I'm curious where the Frost mats were placed. We saw one on the double window over there towards the northeast of Frost right now, and then we see the orange marker is outside. So someone could jump in there, something to be aware of for the future. But so far, they're just droning out, and they're burning a lot of time by doing this extended hold. Keep in mind, the bomb site is still below library, and so they haven't even gotten any real control here. Ziggler going to get a nice kill on Dolphin Mat to start things up. They're going to be aware of the Frost Mat in library, so luckily Buck won't fall prey to that, or not the Buck, excuse me, but in any case, Ziggler will be down and finished off by a word, but a friend will be downed and killed by a Phoenix, and that's Toy Cannon off the board.
There was a lot of work being done there by Ziggler, watching like 3 different angles simultaneously, dealing with the main door, the mezzanine window, and all of the library windows. But he's finally taken off the board. That's going to be a really important one. We've seen Ziggler just run away with the game. But he's going to be replaced here by JJ, also a very capable fragger, and he's going to know this setup and know what he's looking for. Word is just taking off with that sniper rifle, picking up another one with almost no resistance. He's able to just take what he wants and keep going. Taking those frags off for his team is going to be really important, especially with 30 seconds left on the board. They have to make a move.
Yeah, Dugan's going to make the first move on to VBAG. That's going to be off the board for them. And now they're up a man, but the sniper rifle is still very powerful. Word finding another kill. That's a triple on the round. Dugan off the board. That's no more denial with the smoke either. So it's all up to JJ and the Mira. Mira does have a C4 here, though. So if they're not careful about her position, they could be caught unawares by that utility. Word going to take out some damage, though, and missing the shot. That C4 is going to come out. It's going to catch the kill onto Sasha. And now in a 1v2, he'll get almost the down, but did miss the shots. But he's trying to find them. There's not enough time here. This is going to be a round win for those defenders, but he might find a kill for his trouble. Not able to collect it. And while there's still a triple round for them, or triple kill round for them, they aren't able to win the round.
Word was just about unstoppable. Unfortunately, his team was, and he couldn't quite land enough shots to keep them all alive. And with such slow clear, there was just no ability to get onto site and get that actually planted. There's no ability to plant the diffuser because there's no one on site until the last 20 seconds. And one of them had a sniper rifle, so that's not a great situation in such close quarters.
Yeah, not the position you want to be in. Sniper rifle in hand, 1v2. And by that point, his teammate who was planting was dead, and you have 3 seconds left. Like, there's not much you can do. You might be able to collect that kill. Wasn't able to. But even then, the round is already over. And you mentioned it perfectly. It was just so much time. We saw Frost kill half the round and then die. But then I wanted to give credit. You pointed this out as well. So you're pointing out a lot of the points I like too. Is JJ just took that position at the top of the stairs with that shield, with the mirror looking into library. That's a really key position, and they just instantly took it over. The attackers never took took the map control that they could have after taking out the Frost. So I'm really confused on what the mentality was there. Maybe they didn't have enough drones because they were using drones and they were getting shot. They weren't actively droning for someone to be paired with the drones, you could say. And so that's where I'm thinking flaws are going to start happening for Lakeland on their attack. They need to be a little more aggressive. They need to take the control when it's given to them. Otherwise, that's just what's going to happen. They're going to just have someone else rotate to those key power positions, and then they're just going to waste even more time.
Yeah, I feel that's a lack of effective plays from the entry fraggers. Like you said, there weren't any drones with the player directly behind. And that's kind of the expectation you're going to be having from VPAC, especially. He's really capable of fragging, and if you give him the intel, he can execute on that. We have no doubt on his gun skill after seeing what he can do, even against University at Buffalo. But it ended up being more like Word taking whatever kills came by him, as opposed to the team actively searching out the frags that they needed to continue the round.
Yeah, and it's a good job, but you can't expect the sniper rifle to get a triple kill like that. You just can't expect that. Now, they can hold angles and help take care of roamers or flanks, but overall, their job is not to be that entry, as you said. So getting the triple, good for them, good for Word, doing a lot of work to help their team, but it's not enough. These other players need to start stepping up a little bit. We're going to see JJ, though, being very aggressive. He might be doing a run out from below in case someone is going to be on that window rappel. So far, it's just going to be playing the patient game, and that's what these defenders know. That's what Buffalo knows. They know they can just take time. They're playing it perfectly. This is not a map where you need to even necessarily hold control. It's not that hard to retake. There's plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, it's impressive that they can play aggressively without shoving out too far, without putting themselves at risk unnecessarily. They take the kills that are coming to them, but if an attacker isn't going to push, they have no need to either, especially with the lower powered guns, since they've got overall more SMGs and lower magnification sights just by being defenders. It's just not going to serve them well to attack unnecessarily or push up unnecessarily.
Right. Now, they're bringing that Ying again. That's always an interesting pick. I do think it's underutilized, but in this case, it doesn't seem to be doing a lot of good, and you still have to contest with the Zigalo on Wamai and then JJ on the Jaeger. Those ADS and Wamaitis are just going to be harassing you with your utility. Now, VPAC will get an opening kill on a JJ, and the plant is going down, but they're aware of it. Chotapus going to get a nice C4 kill, and that was just so easy to read into. He's going to find a second one. Dolphin tried to push in aggressively. They're just holding the passive angle. Phoenix getting a kill. Dukin getting kill on the Word as well, and now VPAC, the fragger of the team, is the only one alive. He needs to find 4 more to make this round even salvageable. It just doesn't look like it's going to happen. Smoke's going to push him away, and now they're going to have to rotate. The bomb is down inside as well, so this is looking dire.
It looks like Lakeland got a little desperate there once that plant was denied. VPAC's got this intel. He is able to go in. He gets the first kill, but Phoenix is going to pick him up from long distance. And also taking out Dugan in that double. 2 bodies down in 1 burst. Unfortunate or unfortunate. He says, Dugan, no.
I thought he actually wallbanged the teammate that I thought. So
yeah,
I thought
that was player Cutipus.
Yeah, so I didn't think VPAC actually got a kill, but he did. There's just also a TK. So there's a lot of things going on there. But either way, again, it comes down to losing men early, not getting the map control that you want. There's no time. They look a little lost on their tag. I'm just going to say it. Lakeland, they need to find some rhythm. they need to work together a little bit better as well. We're seeing them just push and die, and that's not the best plant position. I'm just going to say it's just not. There is an angle that you can watch from the doorway over into the other bomb site, but then you have to contest with someone off a 90-degree angle, and that's a really easy C4 kill coming out. So I don't know what they were thinking there. Hopefully they've learned from it. I wouldn't advise trying it again. They just need to work on more map control rather than being desperate and going for desperate plant sites like that.
Yeah, that's not even default for that site. You need some hard breaching to open up the wall into mezzanine. It's an important spot, and it gives you so much pressure into site because no one can actually hide out in site. If you have someone on the balcony door and someone on a breach in mezzanine, you can watch that entire site. You can get an easy plant behind the wall. And, that's something that Lakeland should know and be able to execute on, especially on their map choice. This is going to be one of their most preferred maps to be playing on for quarterfinals. And it might be a little disappointing to see them not play to that condition that they should know that they have for the win.
That's a really good point. And Wine Rack is just not a good bomb site or bomb plant site. It's just not. You're in the doorway. Someone's gonna be playing mezzanine, as you said, by a small wall. They're just gonna be sitting there. There's always a defender there. I swear. There's never not a defender in that area. So it's like, what? Why would you expect them not to throw a C4 there? And that comes down to also knowing what are the defenders bringing? What gadgets do they have? You should know that this is C4 on the board. That should have been an easy kill on the JJ, who just aggressively peeked, but VPAC wasn't able to collect it. And Chotapus instead will get an opening kill on the Dolphin Man. So that's going to put these defenders in yet the front seat. They're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, those are picks that you don't expect to be going that way. VPAC should have been able to have that. And Dolphin Man had clear advantage in his gunfight as well. They put a good amount of damage on JJ and Chotapus, but that's not a kill. And Dolphin Man being off the board is really going to hurt, especially with the utilities able to bring and all the flank denial that his track stingers bring to the table.
Well, without the flank watch now, they're going to be very careful of when they do hopefully get into bomb site. But so far, hasn't been a problem for the defenders. They haven't even let them get to the bomb sites. And when they did, it was just a small little angle that they tried to plant in. And we saw the C4 come out and stop it. So they're only giving them what they're allowing, right? They're not taking anything more. And so that's where the lack of aggression for these attackers is going to play into the defender's hands. And Phoenix is going to get another kill. And that's on the VPAC, the Fragger, not having as great of a map here. And so far, these players of Lakeland, they just don't seem as comfortable as I was expecting with this being their map.
Yeah, we're not seeing the same team coordination. They had a little bit of a rough time on attack. They actually didn't manage around on Clubhouse on their attack, but this time they're looking even more fractured. These players are not playing with each other. Everyone's sort of solo pushing. Unfortunately, Toy Cannon accidentally totally flashed out word, and really no enemy teammates. And funny enough, with Dolphin Man down, I was thinking about the flanks, and I don't think Buffalo has actually pulled off a flank yet. They haven't had a need to, because Lakeland just face checks these 50-50s. And there's another one that Toy Cannon's going to lose, peek in before his flashes actually go off. And JJ's just been allowed to walk all across the first floor without much punishment for it up until finally now Word actually picking up a nice kill there on the stairs.
It's actually getting the plant, though. And so these defenders are playing above. Oh, my goodness. Phoenix does get the kill, though, and so now it's all up to Word trying to protect.
Oh, this is a great spot to be. He doesn't know that Dugan's doing it, though. Word had the opportunity, and he just missed it. He had eyes on the hatch. He knew where the plant was going to be, but there was just that fractured team communication allowing a defuse to go off uncontested on the other side of site.
They almost punished him for that roam above, but they do end up having that verticality that you'd expect from the roamers above. So they're able to get the kill, and then it's a 1v3. So it's a lot to ask from Word to try and make that work when they're not. Did they even know that their teammate was planting? Because it looked like they're kind of caught off guard. They're like, wait, I have to try and hold an angle now. I don't even know exactly where in the site you planted. I don't have the best lines up site.
Come off that way a bit.
So I'm not sure, but I mean, it was worth it.
I think it was a Hail Mary
bomb site. They actually got it down. So you got to give them credit for trying, but it's a 2v3 and it was already in a dire situation. So the Hail Mary, as you mentioned, it was worth the shot. It almost worked, but just not quite there. These defenders, though, hopefully that wakes them up that they have to be a little more serious. You know, you can't just
you got to be watching
all over the site. You have to be careful. They'll sneak in on you.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed to see. It kind of feels that Buffalo is not taking it as seriously as they could. They're opening themselves up to some mistakes that could cost them. Right now, it's looking pretty favorable to them 3-0. But I mean, I see JJ the jet plane peeking everything out that door, just standing in the middle of the hallways for no particular reason. I don't know if it's going to be the greatest precedent for them to be setting for themselves going into later matches if they do go on through here.
Right. You don't want to get into the habit of complacency, right? But
Yeah.
at least they're giving us serious lineups, because these lineups are good lineups. I mean, Frost with the shield, Smoke with the shield, also the plant denials, and then you have the mirrors, of course, always useful on this map especially, and then you have the Wamai Jaeger combination. So they're at least giving us serious lineups compared to like some of those meme lineups we saw at the end of last map. But
We're not seeing
JJ
oh,
is gonna
no.
watch Dolphin just try and rush in, and they were not expecting a player
Oh, we
to
saw
run up here.
another one.
Where is the drone work? I have to say it. Sasha gonna get just
I think
their
this
head
is just
taken
a Hail
off,
Mary rush this time.
and this is not working out at all. JJ just pouncing on it. Didn't have any kills until this round. Now they already have 2, and they have the defuse down. They know it. They're just gonna be playing puppy guard now.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of pressure for JJ to be able to exert just by existing here in Master Bedroom. It's a 5v3, 2 minutes left. It's a lot of time since there was a very fast rush to try and get here. But Word really doesn't know what he's having to deal with, and he doesn't have anyone to drone it out for him. It's going to have to be all himself with his teammates across the map.
Well, VPAC gonna be off the board. Ziglo collecting that one in Word and Toy Cannon, trying to figure out what they can do. They can't do much, apparently. Toy Cannon being killed by Ziglo as well. So this is just looking really not well coordinated. That's all you can say. Like, where's the drone work? As I said, it didn't come out, and they lost everyone to it. Word does at least get a kill onto Ziglo before JJ's able to just pounce and get the kill on them. And it was almost a flawless round, but it's the same story. They just I'm starting to wonder what's going on. Are they giving up? Because last time they were droning decently, at least. The effort was there to try and get the information. Now they're just like rushing. They're like, oh, let's just go inside. I'm in Amaru. I'm just going to rush in. I don't need drones. It's like, no, you do. Clearly, you just got slapped.
So please, Lakeland, I want you to be in there. I've seen what you can do. I don't want to see, these lackluster throws with an Amaru. I want to see these actual big brain plays. We've seen them adapt really well to the strategies that Buffalo is able to bring to the table and recognize what they need to do. We saw on first map on Clubhouse, the decision on the second time going to CCTV. I think that was round 3. There was actually a decision to bring down mute and actually mute off all of the things that had been previously hard breached through Garage and adding some additional drone denial. And that was absolutely what they needed. And I think if they can, bring that dedication to the table here, they don't need to be flawless here by any means. Going 4-0 is I think speaks more to like a lack of morale than anything else here as far as their gameplay goes.
Yeah, I mean, this playoffs, it's your last game of this season, and maybe it is just the morale is gone. They're just kind of done with it. I don't know. It kind of does hurt, to be facing the best team who was undefeated in the regular season. I get it. It's hard to stay motivated against a dominant force. But this is also where you can start to improve the best. You can try and also show your own skills, showcase it. Be like, but you know what? Even if we can't win, let's just take as much as we can from this team. Let's give them a run for their money. But that's just the competitor in me, maybe. Maybe because they're college students, they don't have all that much energy. Dolphin does get a kill, but it's quickly refragged by JJ, and so that's going to keep the man count even. But at least that's Phoenix off the board, and Phoenix has been a really good player throughout. In fact, he has the most kills, so it does do a lot of damage to these defenders. And Malusi probably had a C4 in her pocket. Now that's off the board too, so some utility down the drain for the defense. But you did lose a little bit of concussions, but at least you still have the Ash. She can still give you some of those projectile breaches.
Yeah, it is especially impactful to take out Phoenix, who is doing so well with these last 4 rounds ending up being so frag-based. Take that as you will, but a 5-2 record is the most impactful thing that we've seen in this map so far.
He's going to be hitting that window, and JJ below had to retreat.
Have to run out.
So he needs to be careful. It looks like the smoke Dugan did take a lot of damage. I don't know if that was from the breaching rounds coming from that fuse charge. But in any case, they're still alive, so that's all that really matters. As long as they persist, they can just throw these smoke babes. It's still all 3 in their pocket as well. So curious to see if they're not just going to use those. They're going to be just going for the gunfight on the window. They're aiming a little high. He's going to walk away at the wrong time. VPAC getting a kill there. And so that's going to actually give them the man advantage, possibly for the first time in this matchup. And if not, then for the first time in quite a while.
Yeah, and VPAC kind of getting back in his pace. He's got 2. He's not been doing so well this map so far, but he knows what he's looking for. He saw that trace of a head, not quite landing it, but this is a bit of a morale boost getting that kill, getting ahead, and he's got teammates here right behind him. Gonna have to get through all of this utility that's been sunk into Piano Room, but once they do, this is actually going to be a great opportunity to get a plant on. Toy Cannon bringing out those yings at an actual useful time, but unfortunately JJ is going to be in the right place yet again. Toy Cannon gets one for himself, but Kodapis is going to take out his teammate Sasha Fierce, and Toy Cannon is continuing to just frag out with his T95. That's a big gun with a lot of potential. C4's off the board, so it's just a 1v1 with Zigolo. And while Toy Cannon has not had nearly the record of Zigolo, he's doing pretty well this round. He's been able to recognize what he can and can't do on this attack. And with a lot of ground gained by his teammates, he's going to have the opportunity to actually put a plant down. But Zigolo is on the hunt now.
Oh, wow. And the plant does come down, and the prone works out for Zigolo. The closest round so far. Toy Cannon almost managing to clutch it up, but he had no Cantillas, no smokes. He just had to go for the plant. He gets it, but unfortunately just not able to win that gunfight. You don't always expect the prone, and the rat play works out for Zigolo. They're going to continue to have a perfect round count. That's 5-0 so far.
You know, I spent a lot of time complaining there between rounds, and I don't know, maybe it's just my confirmation bias, but it feels like it works. Lakeland really brought a lot to the table there. Losing that early frag felt bad. You don't want to be losing any of your players without really getting much out of it. But no, never mind. It was a trade on the first kill this round, which was better. But losing a kill early without getting much drone work in from it is still going to hurt. But that was so close, and there were so many smart plays and a few blunders, but some risks that got them all the way to the defuse being down in that 1v1 situation.
I wanted to point out I was actually just slightly disappointed, and not the fact that they're like, oh, they failed to do, like, they were doing something, VPAC, the Ash. I really thought they were just going to peek that window, because I thought, oh, with the flash, maybe they know the Jaeger's going to rotate back into the bathroom. But instead, they don't even clear the angle. They just try and jump in. And when you're jumping in, you're vulnerable for a moment. And it was just the timing couldn't have been worse.
Yeah.
We saw
that's one of those moments. VPAC, you know better, right?
Yeah, it was just so unfortunate. And so they're not able to collect the kill that I really thought they could have had onto JG, who I believe was on the Jaeger last round. But unfortunately, the timing didn't work out for him. And that really could have helped the round so much, too. They could have actually had a man advantage there instead of a 1v1.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Look like we've seen some pretty quick and efficient setting up here from Buffalo. They've got everything just how they like it. They've got a couple roamers all the way up top playing vertical and looking for some cheeky picks here out some windows. Oh, no, it's going to be even cheekier than I thought. Downing Toy Cannon and finishing him off. It's going to maybe punish him for everything that he did last round, getting all that mileage out of his plays before. He's not going to get any of that this round, and that's going to feel pretty bad. Going to kill his momentum off a bit. Yeah, he says Sag. And it is.
That was just dirty. JJ going for the spawn beacon, manages to catch one, and that's why you got to be aware of those angles, though. You really do. JJ's going to get refried by VPAC, so that's at least going to bring him back to that even man count, get a little revenge for his teammate. And JJ on the Vigil has been a really annoying roamer. He was on the Jaeger most of the round so far, so having him out at least lets you have a little bit more sigh of relief, you could say, as you don't have that pesky roamer out and about on the map. You know that a lot of these other players would probably be closer to site.
Yeah, it looks like no hard destruction denial means a pretty early opening of garage door for Lakeland. Phoenix picks up another kill, though, so word's going to be off the table. Not able to continue with that split push, so it's up to Dolphin Man, VPAC, and Sasha Fierce to get in there. Sasha Fierce and Dolphin Man right outside, looking for an opportunity to actually get in and get that plant. And with them being the only two left now, it's going to be sort of their win con to do that. That C4 is going to miss, and allowing Sasha Fierce to actually get the plant all the way off and get all the way outside, even though he's got a drone on him. And he's going to go down regardless. He is the last player as Phoenix. Oh, no. Oh no! Oh no! This team on team no. But it looks like there's plenty of time for this diffuser to be taken out. Ketapis has that disable going, and he's got almost 20 seconds to do it.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate, and it looks like our feed's dying in the middle of all that. That's kind of funny. It was 6-0 though, so perfect half. We'll have to figure out what's exactly going on with the feed though, as everyone's, it looks like, is down. So that's just that's unfortunate. But it looks like Buffalo showing us what they have yet again. They're able to just be completely dominant, and they're just showing no signs of weakness. On the other side of things, Lakeland just not able to find much success. That one round so close, but since then, it's just gone back to the same. They just try and enter the building, and they get harassed. They might get one kill for their trouble, and then from there on, everyone just dies. I'm not quite sure what you can do to fix that at this point. It just shows. It shows that they are just very dominant with their gunfights. It's hard to get kills on these players because every time you go up against them, it's almost always a 1v1, and you basically just have to play for the refrags at this point because you know that one of your players is likely to die.
Yeah, Buffalo is just so dominant, and honestly, I think the move of ending Clubhouse by playing with those meme pigs, those weird operators, the Oryx, the Warden, the Frost, the Alibi, I think that was enough to really break the will of Lakeland to stay in there and really keep their heads planted. They're not playing like they know what they're doing, and they're allowing Buffalo to kind of take it off of them in a rude fashion. I mean, just on that last round in basement, with one objective really opened up, that's actually a basis for a good start to a round. But the drone work wasn't there, the due diligence wasn't done. All the split push was taken off one by one until there's two operators taking the third Hail Mary plant of this half, and the third in a row that just didn't work out, unfortunately.
Well, at least we could talk about while we're on this short intermission as we're trying to get the new lobby set up. Looks like it did probably crash there, so or at least the clean feed. And so, but recapping, it has been dominant. It's going to be 6-0. Perfect half coming out from Buffalo. It's pretty impressive. Last time, it was a lot closer, and I think that had something to do with Lakeland started on defense. And defense is usually easier for teams in general. It doesn't take as much coordination. And so we do have a stream back and ready to go. So we should be able to jump into that. In the meantime, though, we're going to be sitting switch sides. So what do you expect to see come out here?
All right, Lakeland's got that defense. They got a little bit of a bonus. Looks like VPOC's off the board again, which is very unfortunate to see. That's the Jaeger off. He's got all his stuff down, but he does not have the 416C to play for his team anymore. JJ to jet plane, also a really effective fragger, is off though as well. And that's not a terrible trade to have, but University at Buffalo is already taking a lot of real estate, something that we saw Lakeland fail to do consistently on the attack.
Well, Phoenix can get another kill on the word now, and so that's going to put them in a man advantage. These defenders are going to be trying what they can, but they can't win one round here. It's already over. It'll be 7-0, so they're looking certainly to get the W here on this first round of defense, but they're in a 3v4, so it's not really great for them, and only half the round has been elapsed, so they need to buy more time. Looks like Phoenix might find another kill here if they're not careful. He saw the gun barrel of the player playing there in the corner of the bottom of blue stairs here, but they're not going to peek just yet. They're just playing patiently. Phoenix not sure what to do here and not sure how to push this player.
Not a great close angle to be pushing, especially with a potential shotgun behind there. It is going to be an FMG9 though. Going to be a little less effective if he just rounds the corner, but he's able to do quite a bit just by hanging out here on the stairs. And both of the remaining defenders are here in this gunfight with Phoenix. He's able to keep them both kind of pinned down. With Sasha Fierce unable to even move away. He's pinned in that corner entirely.
I'm starting to wonder if Ash actually saw them because they're not even watching that angle any longer. You see Toy Cannon, though, getting a kill on Ziggle. They're continuing to stop this plant from going down.
Oh, he does know
He's push down, and he gets the kill. What a nice shot. He does have a goo mine in his foot, so you have to take that out, but they have still plenty of time. 30 seconds to work with, but doesn't matter. Dugan gets that final kill, cleaning it up. That's a 7-0. University at Buffalo Alpha showing us that they were undefeated for a reason. They're going to continue to be, not dropping a single map. And they win this best of 3 in just 2 maps.
For University of Buffalo Alpha, this is a great way to start quarterfinals. They were able to take their time, get warmed up. They gave away a couple rounds in the first 4 on Clubhouse, but that was I think well and truly just that warm up for the rest of the match. Once they got going, they didn't even really have to put 100% effort in there. That way they can really, dip their toes just a bit at a time into this whole series and really get themselves ready to go up against the other teams that are up at those top seeds for our top split. And I think this really sets the precedent for some impressive plays for them going forward.
I agree. I'm curious to see exactly how dominant they can be. Are they going to just be undefeated throughout the entire thing? Can they do it? Can they pull off what is impossible in the NFL, to be undefeated and then undefeated in the playoffs? That'd be interesting. But I guess time will tell. But that just goes to show that there really is a quality difference between the first seed and that 8th seed. And in this case, that's just so unfortunate for Lakeland. But it's a learning lesson. Hopefully, they can take away from it. They can look back and be like, what is this other team that's so dominant? What are they doing well? Maybe we can emulate a few of those things that they're doing so well. Now we got to figure out what this next matchup will be, as today is a little different than normal. There won't be really any intermissions. As soon as we get the lobby set up, we'll take just a short advertisement break. We'll get new casters in here for that next match, and we'll just jump right on in. So I'm curious to see what the next matchup will be. I actually don't have a schedule on me, so let me figure that out real quick. All right, so Central Methodist and Johnston and Wales. So 4v5. Wait, 4v5. So one player isn't playing? Oh, okay. So the 4th seed versus the 5th seed. So probably a lot closer of a matchup.
A lot closer. This will be the closest one, I think, actually, for this stage of the bracket. So that'll be, I'm sure, a pitched battle between both teams. Having seen them through the regular season, CMU and Johnson and Wales are not to be trifled with. And seeing the two of them battle it out will be great, I think, to see. And I'll be there with you guys watching it, since WeAlKu and I will be hopping out. Thank you so much for following us with this one, and we hope to see you soon. Stick around.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.